Hey everybody, it's Retro Knight. Surrender now or prepare to fight. We venture back into Global Challenge 2025, Masters Edition, with the good old Annihilate Stonejourner Bombardier Meowscarada team that we've been featuring in our first match today is up against Ivy. As always, if you enjoy the music or recognize the music that we're kicking in today's show, drop a comment down below and thank you for all of the support as we're going to jump directly into this heated matchup as my opponent is leading with the classic Expanding Force duo of Indeedee and good old Gallade. You don't see Gallade too much. Gallade does have Wide Guard too, and so does Stonejourner. I guess one of the really cool niches of using those Pokemon. So Bombardier has a couple of really cool things it can do here. We can U-turn out on Indeedee and get super effective damage, but we also have the Parting Shot later on for Gallade. However, there's no reason to go for it immediately, as there's a possibility that the Indeedee can easily just go for Follow Me and redirect that Parting Shot. That wanted to get U-turn damage on Gallade since it was a neutral hit. However, damage on Indeedee is always good. It's a really bulky Pokemon in and of itself. I decided to take this turn to go into Annihilate. Now, kind of strange enough, it doesn't matter if I go into Annihilate here because Expanding Force won't be able to hit me as long as I have the Wide Guard. The only thing he can do here is to taunt Stonejourner. I've seen that a lot in this competition and just in general, taunting Wide Guard users into their Protect, or also where they could not Wide Guard, shutting down those types of plays. That being said, the Gallade goes for the Sacred Sword. I take it onto the Focus Sash. Remember, this is the team which I'm using the Grass-type Stonejourner Terra, and got to keep the team separate. So this Drain Punch comes through. We don't quite knock out Indeedee. It is a neutral hit since it is a Psychic normal type, as the Psychic brings us down to 67 because of all of our investment into Annihilate, into our special defenses, our HP, and our defenses in general. However, now we decide to swap out knowing another Psychic is coming. Bombardier does have the neutral immunity by having the Dark type normally as we go into Bombardier. And it works out because we come into the Psycho Cut, and the Psychic does finish off our Stonejourner from that point. Now, looking at this particular situation, Wide Guard is a huge issue. My thought process here is to redirect him off of not wanting to Wide Guard with Gallade, freeing up the chance to go for Rock Slide alongside Bombardier. I can kind of mitigate this play here by going Ghost. I'm going Ghost! With Tyranitar, which is going to make it where the Sacred Sword will be completely immune because of that Ghost typing. It will also draw him out into attacking, meaning instead of his Wide Guard, I can go for Helping Hand alongside Rock Slide, which doesn't work. It works against the redirection here, and it works out perfectly as the Sacred Sword is into the oncoming Tyranitar slot. That immunity allows us to go for a knockoff to knock this thing down, and then we decide, okay, let's go for a Parting Shot, and we do find out here that our opponent is carrying the Clear Amulet, so the reduction of stats will not be possible in this situation. However, Ghost-type Tyranitar has a really nice neutrality to all of Gallade's attacks from this point. He decides to show a Torkoal, and I was thinking, okay, Torkoal, I do not have my special defense boost because I'm no longer a Rock type because I changed my Terra. So that's the thing, and I'm sure the Sun can also go up at this point as well, so that's going to make a very problematic situation. However, we are locked into the Parting Shot because of the Choice Scarf. And that being said, we kind of just want to get out of here. We kind of either want to lower the Torkoal's special attack, or we just kind of want to get out of the situation and sack Annihilate to the oncoming Eruption that is coming from a mile away. With the Trick Room up, the Torkoal automatically outspeeds my entire team, and my opponent takes this opportune moment to go ahead and Terra into that Fire typing, so that we can go ahead and take this stabbed Eruption with Terra Fire. However, Tyranitar is not going to be taking any Eruptions today as we decide to protect from the oncoming erupting volcano. However, Annihilate is not so lucky from this point. It is easily able to be brought down after all that bulk HP was taken away from the Stab Psychic. Because we went for a Protect, we don't have to worry about any of Gallade's attacks like this oncoming Psycho Cut, as we now get to get Bombardier back in for free. Now, the fact that I have terastallized into the ghost typing, what I want my opponent to do here is to continue to attack into Tyranitar with the Gallade, so that I can draw him off of his wide guard and I can continue to just wear down his Pokemon with Helping Hand boosted Rock Slides or double Rock Slides. I decide to go for the latter of the Helping Hand Rock Slide, as on the first turn you see here, as the wide guard would have actually outpaced Helping Hand. It does not happen on the first turn. That allows us to bring the Torkoal into Dark Red Health. We do get a critical hit on it. We do have that Rocky Payload, so like that pseudo stab with the Bombardier, which is really, really nice. As we're now going to go ahead and go for a Protect again, and just go for a Rock Slide normally, just to see if he would like to go for a Wide Guard and reveal it. On the turn we go for Protect, so that we are able to take another attack. And my thing is, even if he goes for the Wide Guard one time, I don't foresee him continually going for it, because he sees Tyranitar as a threat once the Trick Room is down. As once the Trick Room is down, Tyranitar outspeeds his team. Him setting up the Trick Room will also offset him wanting to attack Tyranitar, and instead prioritizing the Trick Room so that he can keep his offenses up with Torkoal. In comes the Wide Guard here, of course. That allows Bombardier not to be able to connect with the Rock Slide on the Gallade or the Torkoal. However, in comes the Weather Ball, but of course Tyranitar did Protect, as now the Trick Room is no longer a thing. The thing is, now we can easily just be able to, we're gonna actually play the mid ground here and go for Knockoff and Rock Slide. Just in case he wants to go for Wide Guard again, we need to do extra damage to Gallade, and Knockoff is a neutral attack since it is the Psychic typing, and we should be able to take a Psycho Cut. However, my opponent, again, decides to go for an offensive move with Gallade onto the Tyranitar, allowing us that Rock Slide to free up and take down the Torkoal. That now allows us to outspeed under Trick Room, get an unnecessary crit. It was a really high offensive move, as he still had the clear amulet, so the knockoff is enough to take out the Gallade, leaving only the Executor. Now, being that there was chlorophyll on the field, I was a little bit nervous here. But Bombardier's natural typing is flying, so we do naturally resist the Executor's moves, both its grass typing and its psychic typing, via our natural typing via Bombardier. So I decided to go for a Helping Hand boosted Rock Slide, and after Choice Scarf, we still outspeed him after Chlorophyll, as unfortunately Bombardier gets put to sleep, and that is not good at all. That means now the Harsh Sunlight fades. That means Tyranitar is now faster than Executor, as we can easily go for a knockoff here. And we're kind of sitting on the ideal that Bombardier most likely is not going to wake up from this sleep, and that is very unfortunate. But knockoff outspeeds, and we can take him into low health, so Bombardier is fast asleep. It's fast asleep and can't be moved. In comes the Energy Ball, but we are not naturally rock typing, so we take that really well, being the flying type. We bring him to abysmal HP, knock off his Focus Sash, bring him very, very low, and now he pretty much has to just take this knockoff, as it doesn't even matter anymore, because now he does not outspeed us. But Bombardier will wake up, drop some rocks on this coconut, and that is the end of the first game. Let's go ahead and hop into the second one as we defeat Ivy with a very, very interesting Wide Guard Affliction team. I guess Gallade prioritized attacking and didn't want a Wide Guard. Hey, that works for me. I have no problems with it. Let's jump into the second game. Alright guys, on to game 2, or if you're watching the separate video about Meowscarada's Flower Trick and how unstoppable it is, we're going to be talking about it today in both the multi-part and also the original video that's by itself. Alright, our match is up against Josh, and Flower Trick does some very, very nice damage to this team. Not really on the Porygon 2, but I'm looking at the Azumarill and the Ursaluna particularly. I also see the Hatterene having the Trick Room shenanigans, and I'm not having any of that. It takes him to the last minute to decide what he would like to bring into this battle, as we are going to face Josh in our second round of this video series for the Global 2025 Masters Edition Championships. Alright, so we lead Oranguru and Annihilate. My thought process here was basically to double up on Hatterene, but also possibly Annihilate attacking King Gambit, and maybe Oranguru making me attack again and double attacking into King Gambit or Hatterene and knocking it out before it has the opportunity to Trick Room. That is a huge, huge deal. I don't believe I decide to Terrastallize immediately because I do know if this thing goes for Trick Room, I have never seen one of the more offensive Trick Room sweepers. I mean, Reuniclus is a thing, but guys, Hatterene is a whole nother thing. This thing was made for Trick Room. It has really, really low base speed, really, really high special attack, really good spread damage. I mean, it just works phenomenally, especially alongside Indeedee. However, his actual Terrastallization is King Gambit, which he decides to turn into Ghost type, which is a really good play, predicting me to just go straight away for a fighting type attack. However, I do not do that. I go for a Rage Fist onto the Hatterene, as a Koto Cleave actually cleaves all the way through my Oranguru in one shot, and I thought Oranguru might actually live that. And now, Deja Vu, here comes the Psychic into the Annihilate. We do live it on very abysmally low HP, and abysmally low it is at 29. That Psychic did way, way, way too much damage. However, we're going to bring in Meowscarada here. We could copycat the Psychic. There would be kind of no point to that. Copycat is good, although I feel like it's better in singles where Protect isn't as common in Wide Guard. The moves that just take that priority, that out-prioritize your Copycat and make you use Protect or Wide Guard. I'm going to go ahead and Protect, as this Hatterene also decides to Protect. I want to make sure Annihilate lives either the Sucker Punch and or the Psychic, as I go for a Flower Trick with Protea and turn myself into grass. However, the Hatterene did decide to Protect instead, but we are already into that grass typing. And that's going to be really, really important in a couple of turns here. I decide to swap out into Tyranitar to get the Sandstream going, but also I don't know what other Pokemon he has in the back. I do know King Gambit is a thing that I have to watch out for, as Annihilate is worn down significantly. The Rage Fist will not work out for me. I do have the knockoff into the King Gambit, which is really good, as the Sucker Punch into the oncoming Tyranitar does nothing. Luckily, Hatterene is at enough HP for the Flower Trick to do some magic and knock this thing out, so no Trick Room shenanigans today, and that is very, very nice, as that is not something that we wanted to deal with. That being said, we're going to see what his next Pokemon decides to be. It decides to be a Azumarill. I can easily Protect with Tyranitar and attack directly into a Azumarill, or I could also Helping Hand if there's like some chance that it lives on abysmally low HP. He'd probably just go for the Aqua Jet here. I highly doubt he would just go for the Play Rough, as he would want damage, as he knows the Flower Trick would easily one-shot him. That being said, he swaps out into the Dragonite, and this works out perfectly because the Flower Trick will now take the Dragonite out of Multiscale, which means our triple Axle will be able to get through here. Knock off into the King Gambit does bring it really, really low. The black glasses are knocked off as the Iron Head comes through. That's why the Koto Cleave killed me, because he had the black glasses. That makes sense. We live in Iron Head down to really low HP, as the King Gambit is buffeted by the Sandstorm, as Meowscarada is now in a position to do what Meowscarada does best, perform magic tricks. And this magic trick is making this Dragonite completely disappear with a triple Axle. As now we're deciding we're going to go for the triple Axle, and we decide what we want to go into here. As the Sucker Punch does come through with the Tyranitar, I think Protect would have been the right play here, as Meowscarada probably could have also brought this thing down from the range I was at, but that triple Axle indeed does make that Dragonite disappear. It is no longer a problem, as now we know Azumarill is the last Pokemon on the opposition's side. I'm not too worried about anything King Gambit can throw at me, as King Gambit has been worn down pretty significantly, as now all I have to do is go for a Protect on the Annihilate, seeing the Aqua Jet kill from the Azumarill, and Flower Trick will easily be able to knock it out. And then, of course, King Gambit does not outspeed Meowscarada naturally, and that's where we're at, as now we are of the Grass type, so we don't take super effective damage from anything that King Gambit has. However, Meowscarada is not one of the bulkier Pokemon around, so it's still going to take a significant amount of damage from, like, the Iron Head. I go ahead and Protect into that spot, Flower Trick the Azumarill, it goes down in one shot with that critical hit, as we want to see what the King Gambit decides to go for here. Probably just the Sucker Punch, just to take out the Annihilate, as Annihilate's going to go down to 2 more hits of Sandstorm, And here we go. We finished things up with good old Meowscarada and Flower Trick. Thank you so much, Josh, for the game. Thank you guys for watching and all of the support. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Take care. See you later. Power on. Power off.